We say thank you to joining us again on your path or for the first time. This is truly a day where we have tears streaming down our face, but out of joy and out of just compassion for the journey that the human being takes in encompassing the soul for which is experiencing and learning and playing as you grow and expand your consciousness and your soul from your higher self on down to the human plane. This is truly a day where we will talk about life and we will talk about death. But death, as you see it, death sounds so final. It sounds so, there's nothing else, or what is there? What is death? Well, we will start by renaming it from death to transition and transformation. This is truly one topic that really stands out in each person's life every day throughout their life, reminding you that time passes and that one day the time will run out. But the time for which you experience in this plane is truly an experience of mass proportion, because it ticks away. But your dreams, your aspirations, your goals are always there also for you to spend your time and energy on. But the topic of death, the topic of transition and transformation as we say it, reminds you that the time here is moving forward, not backwards. That change happens every day. That nothing stays the same. And with time passing, with change always happening, there is also a loss in your eyes of those who you love. There is also a transition of their souls once their time on earth is done, once their time on this plane is up. But that is not a bad thing. And we will start by giving an example of life from our perspective, but in terms on your plane. And then intertwine that with what transition and transformation is, and how losing the fear of it can better serve you and help you to live much fuller, deeper, and with the love, learning, and playfulness that is intended. So if you can imagine your life from birth to transition as a path for which you are hiking, a trail for which you are going down, and on this trail there are many obstacles, and there's many smooth parts for which you just walk freely. But the obstacles and the challenges for which you come upon in your life only serve to make you better and learn more about yourself as you grow stronger, as you get through them and walk and climb and learn that the obstacle that's in the rearview mirror did not stop you. If you choose to keep moving on your path, as time is always moving you forward. So on this path, on this journey that you are on, many people come into your path and you cross paths with many souls. And they bring you gifts, they bring you learning, they bring you playfulness. When you reach points for which they leave your path, sadness sets in because you want them to stay. But in truthfulness, you are not letting them just go. You are letting them go home. You are letting them transition back to their truthful soul of existence. And they are not just leaving you behind, they are cheering you on from where they have now gone. And this is where you must live on in their memory. But do it for yourself because you are also strong. You also have many things to accomplish in this life. You also have many things to prove not only to yourself, but to just prove that you don't have to prove anything. You just have to be. Learn, play, grow. This is really the truthfulness for which, if you can change your perspective from fearfulness of dying to a joyfulness of living. And for those who pass on, for those who leave their journey, let them go in a beautiful way, in a compassionate way. Not that you don't love them, but because you love them. And walking further on this path, on this trail for which you are hiking, there are many avenues for which you can leave the trail. Many avenues for which your life can be over. But at subconscious level, you are choosing to move forward and continue. Continue to move forward and say, no, I'm not done yet. No, there's more for me to accomplish. I still have dreams to realize. I still have goals to reach. I still have life to live. And then start to look around at the souls who are starting to leave your path and look at them in compassion and say, okay, they just learned what they needed to learn or experienced what they needed to experience. There are so many different ways to transition away from this life. There are so many different ways to transform. And avenues and spots on your path to leave, and different variations and manifestations of what that is. Whether it be disease or illness, or an accident, or anything. But it is not, from our perspective, sad, but it is on your plane, the sadness and the anger and the frustration and the I just want you to stay, or the way they die, or the way they transition away can be hurtful. And just seem like there is no answer, and that it is meaningless. But in truth, the meaning of life is to live and transition just gives you the opportunity to say, okay, the time is not always going to be here. You do have an amount of time to act. There is no judgment upon which you do not act. There is not a judgment upon which that which you don't accomplish in life. But the meaning of life, in truth, is in the journey. The meaning of life is in the living, is in the trying to accomplish, is in the trying to dream, is in the trying to move forward in a positive way, and to see life in a different perspective. Because death is just a transition point for which you return to your beautiful and magnificent soul of being. And like a butterfly that comes out of the cocoon, while in the cocoon, you are in the process of that transformation. And while in the cocoon, you are taking in the experiences, the living, the breathing, the playfulness, the learning of it all. Through the negative times or the positive times, the hard times and the easy times, through the challenges and the joyful cherishness of life. And while your soul is in the cocoon of a body, this physical vehicle for which you travel down this path, you may look around and say, why? What's the purpose? Well, as you are a unique soul, as you are a unique being in this body, your purpose is unique as well. And as you look at another person and say, why are they doing that? Or why do they live that way? Look at your life and say, am I living the way I would like to be living? Am I living the way I feel I should be living? Without judgment from others and without judgment from yourself. So the transition points for which you see on your paths, they are always there, and at any given time, you could leave this earth. Or choose to keep moving. But at a subconscious level, you come into this life with things you want to accomplish, with things you want to leave in this world for others to learn from. And from the experiences that you have in life and the roles that you play in situations that happen every day, you are giving a bit of yourself to that other soul. You are playing a role in teaching as they are playing their role in learning. And in this life for which you live, there are many roles to play. There are many lives to live. And there is so much to learn and so much to play with. And at the top of your journey, you can look back from the other side after your transition and see what a magnificent route you traveled. How beautiful the hard times were, because how strong it made you. How much beauty was to be found on your path, and sometimes you didn't see. How much love that you had for the other souls that came into your life. And how you will join with them again. How you will align with their energy again. Because from the point from which you stand and come into this life, you always return to the source of it all. To God that is smiling down, or the source, however you want to look at it. But you return to the energy, to the pure beauty of a soulful being. Free from the cocoon that has encompassed you on your path, that has led you on your journey. So when you have souls that you come across that are on your path, and the love for which you feel for them, if you are seeing them in a state of transition, if you are seeing them in a state of being that is hurtful to you to watch, just know that the experiences for which we all have signed on to in this life, we from the guiding perspective and you from the living perspective, all have roles to play in our own learning. All have roles to play in the learning of others. And when you see a person in a state of transition, when you see a person in a state of perceived suffering, show them the compassion, show them the love for you and the love for them. By cherishing them and looking after them on their path. And when they come to the point of transition, let them go out of love. And know that they have lived their life in their own path, in their own perspective of how they were to live it. Not in how you think life should be lived. Now, from the perspective of death or transition, we transition to the perspective of living, and how the fear of death or transition can really hinder the living process. You eat as if it can kill you. You don't do certain things as if it can hurt you or kill you. You don't let your mind create when it is aligned with the soul and the heart for which wants to create fully, freely, and abundantly. So working through the fear of transition, of death, let's just put it out all on the table. Every being will transition at a certain point on their path. It is the circle of living. Death is nothing but a transformation and a transition back to the loving source, that which loves you unconditionally and only wants the best for you and wants to see you live joyfully on your path through the hard times and see that there is something beautiful and optimistic and positive about the hard times. And once you get through them, you cherish and appreciate your life that much more. And can start to realize that you are not weak. You are a strong and powerful being. A part of the source, a part of God. And as you walk your path, as you walk this plane of existence, know that your path can be beautiful, can stay beautiful, and the love that which you find on your path, know that it is always there within you. Know that your path is always showing you different things, different opportunities to learn and to bring joy, love, and playfulness into your life. The seriousness of living is what takes away from the playfulness of living. The fear of not having enough, the fear of not being able to make enough, the fear of losing that which you love, is only actually bringing that into your life. The fear is manifesting the opportunities for you to face that fear. And if you work to let go of the fear, then you will start to manifest the opportunities for the playfulness, for the loving, and for more learning in your life. And have a better and a positive living experience instead of having a fear of that experience. We want you to live. And in death, there is no dying, only transformation. So if you start to look at the end of your life as if, yeah, it's going to come someday, but it's going to also be another experience. It's going to also be a loving experience. This in your life.
All callers are muted and they can unmute themselves.
This in your life, from this point forward, you can live without the fear of death. And you can see that which is around you that is in transition in a different perspective. That it is not from our perspective happening to you, it is happening for you. But understandably so, when you are in the experience itself, it can seem like it is a horrible experience. And there are human emotions to work through in that experience, and they are not to not be honored. But on the contrary, honored and work through and flow with it so that it does not hinder you moving forward. And therefore, keep you in the past and constantly reliving them leaving you instead of you moving forward out of honoring them. The best way to honor those that transition is to continue living and live to the fullest. Because they look at you from the other side and see you and only want to cheer for you and love you all the same. They did not really leave you. They just got out of the way. And that which you are to experience moving forward is to allow much more to come into your life. Just because they transitioned away from you, away from your path, does not mean that that is the end. Because they truly love you and truly will never leave you. They've just gone to a different way of being. And you will join them again. But the efforts and the path at hand still needs to be walked, still needs to be cherished and honored and manifested. So live your life today in the same spirit as you will leave your life tomorrow. And that is to say, it's a beautiful experience, expanded with many feelings and emotions, and obstacles and challenges to go through, feelings to work through, emotions to release. And at the end of it all, if you can sift through the different layers, it is a beautiful life, as you are a beautiful soul. And you are a powerful being that has the power to manifest in your life to the fullest potential that you are. And will return to the source just as beautiful. But at that point you will realize the true extent of your beauty and the true purpose of this path. One step at a time. It is about the journey. And we say to you now, journey on.